How's it going, everyone? Your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself, with some more monsters in the world. And today, ladies and gents, we're looking at Legiana, I believe, Legiana or something like that. I believe that's it, Legiana or something. I think that's right. Regardless, here we are. Now, this guy, whew, yo, he's a doozy. He, she, whatever it is, it's a doozy. Okay. Notably, it's the only ice monster in this entire game, which is a drag, because usually they tend to have an area that really accommodates pretty much all types of monsters, you know, but they do not have no tundra-esque area. This is the only time you'll see some ice stuff, so if you're looking for ice-type weapons, boom, shabam, shazam, right here, it's the only way to get it. Now, this guy, let's talk about the area in which it will spawn. I'm not a billion% that's exactly where it will spawn. However, if you do go to area 12 and literally wait for like 20 seconds, he'll show up every single time. So I don't know what area he actually flies in from, because normally when I was trying to grind him out, I was looking and looking and looking, and then he's always, you know, like I turn around, he's bam, he's like right there at 12. So when you come in, either drop in at 12 or just fly to 12 or just get to 12 as soon as you can, because he'll more often than not will just be there. I just kind of stand there and he just shows up. Give it a sec. Or is he there already now? I can't look. I'm not even looking at the video. Regardless, Legiana. So let's talk about him really quickly. He's a doozy of a monster. I will not lie to you guys. He's a doozy. He's pretty tough. Not the toughest monster I've ever fought in my life, but definitely kind of tough, simply because he likes to do the one thing that makes it a little hard for a lot of people to actually combat: stay in the sky. Now, granted, this area, the Coral Highlands, is actually designed so that way you can actually combat that very well by using the newly acquired glider mantle. Now, the glider mantle is a boon when it comes to fighting this guy. However, it's only super good if you even have the ability, and not necessarily the ability, but the opportunity to jump off of locations. That way you can actually jump onto his back with that extra gliding stuff. So the starting area isn't the greatest for it. However, it is still on a slope. It's a level that it's an area that's on a slope, so you can actually utilize the fact that it is a slope. You can get your sliding attacks down as well. So if you're really nice with those, this would be a great place to actually utilize it. Now, first, let's talk about what he's really about. So he is an ice monster. He will throw the ice out to you. He normally does this in a variety of ways, mostly through like wing flaps or stuff like that. Like he'll throw his arms out, ha, you know, and then like ice will fly out everywhere. Ice is normally done by this particular attack. He has a couple of variations of the same exact attack that is just him flapping his wings at you really quickly, or he has an attack where he will spiral at you. It'll be like him spiraling in a corkscrew fashion, and he'll disperse ice that way as well. He also has a tail slam attack that is actually becoming very common in this game. There's a number of monsters who have almost the exact same tail slam attack. I'm looking at Tobikadachi, Paulumolu, or just Paul for example, and this guy. They all have like the same exact tail slamming attack. Also, one thing to note about that same exact tail slamming attack, is very strong, so watch out for it. So be wary of the tail. I don't even think you can cut the tail off, so just kind of worry about that, because it'll also dispense the ice. And if you're not sure what Ice Blight actually does, Ice Blight actually makes it to where you consume stamina at a very fast rate. So there'll be a couple of times you'll probably be fighting him, unless you actually bring null berries to mitigate this. You'll probably run out of stamina, and without even actually knowing, you'll be like, yo, what the heck, I blocked like one attack, rolled twice the amount of stamina, what's going on? That's because that's what Ice Blight does. It necessarily just cripples you in that particular fashion. So with a couple attacks with a couple attacks noted to be wary of, what I would actually recommend to the utmost degree is bringing any type of way in which you can actually either make flash pods or bring your own flash pods. Bring as many flash pods as you can. You can never have enough flash pods when you fight this guy. If you can have 20 flash pods when you fight him, yo, you need 22 more. Okay, just bring them all, because the more he's on the ground, less he's in the air, the better he is for you to fight. Because his biggest crowning achievement is the fact that he has actually great air mobility, because he's not as big as Rathalos is. So normally when it comes to fighting a monster as big as Rathalos, I mean, Rathalos isn't too big, but when it comes to fighting bigger monsters you like to stay in the air, you can catch them on the backswing of a lot of your attacks, because the hitboxes are kind of that way. Since he's a little bit small, a little bit more slender, he can navigate a little quicker than Rathalos, and you won't catch him on any backswings because his hitboxes aren't that big, because he's not that big. So it really honestly comes down to hitting him straight forward, having a head-on attack with him, which normally isn't the smartest thing to do when it comes to fighting monsters, but honestly it's the best thing that I can actually think of when it comes to fighting this guy. Head-on attacks, kind of go for risk it for the biscuit, hit them toenails, my man, because honestly if you're right underneath him, he can't necessarily throw his wings out at you. and attack that way because it has an angle that can project that. And I believe it's like a 45-degree angle. And if you're right underneath him, you're in that blighting spot, and he can't necessarily hit you with that, but he will hit you with that tail slam attack that I talked about earlier. So utilize everything to your disposal. Utilize your mounts, utilize your flashlights, utilize your flash pods. Keep him on the ground so that way you can actually do the most damage to him as possible. When it really comes to that, that's pretty much it. He can be a bit annoying because he's pretty good at allowing you not to do the things that I just told you to do. But just hold fast. You'll be able to knock him out for sure. Like, no issues. And if you need a little bit of help, I would recommend you come here with some thunder weapons, because that is #1 resistance. So, weakness. So if you do have some leftover Tobikadachi weapons or something like that, or that you are carrying them around and they're really nice and upgraded, bring them joints here to fight my man, because it'll do that extra damage. But speaking of armor skills, armor resistances and things like that, let's actually talk about his armor, because it's actually, I can't lie, as much as I hate this monster, because he's my least favorite monster in this entire game so far, I cannot lie, his armor is pretty nice, especially aesthetically. It's really cool looking. For the males, it kind of reminds me of G-Rank Legiacris armor from back in 3U and the like, but let's look at this stuff right off the rip. Now, he's another one of these monsters who has this really cool ability that has what's known as, like, I don't even know exactly what it's known as, but if you wear X amount of his armor, you get a free skill. Normally, it's 3 pieces of this monster's particular armor, and then you get a free skill. This skill is good luck. Now, Legiana's Blessing gives you good luck if you wear 3 pieces of the armor. It doesn't matter exactly which ones they are, just so long as you're wearing 3 pieces. Now, next he has ice resistance, which, 6 points to the resistance itself, and then later on down the line you actually get 20 points to resistance and plus 10 to defense, so that's actually really neat. Ice attack, increase your ice attack by 30 points, which is really cool, especially if you're going to be rocking the ice weapons to be fighting the literal next monster we're going to be fighting. No spoilers, only when we get there. Now, Airborne, we talked about Airborne once before, but let me reiterate. Airborne increases the jumping attack damage by 10%. So if you're like oh my goodness, if you're Insect Glaive, this skill is literally for you, because you're in the air, attacking in the air 9 times out of 10. This is for you. You're doing more damage now. This is the Insect Glaive as artillery is to like Charge Blade and Gun Lance. So there you go. If you're an Insect Glaive user, boom. If you don't want to make the whole armor set, at least make the arms, because this is going to be a really good skill for you to have. And now that I think about it, there really isn't too many other armor sets with this particular skill, so get it while you can, Insect Glaive users. Next, we have Evade Window, which is effectively evasion plus 1 or 2 or 3 in this game from the other Monster Hunter games. Granted, this one goes all the way to level 5. So now, I will admit the window is actually, when I say very slightly, yo, they mean it, son. I mean, I couldn't honestly tell a difference. I had to actually stack it up to level 3 before I really started noticing that, oh, okay, I am getting the nice evades in here and there. But nonetheless, I mean, it can help you in those pinches. Let's say you're about to get that cart, and all you need is this perfectly timed evade, and you can probably get it with this evade window. I mean, it's ever so slight, but you can still probably get it. So that's that. Lastly, we're looking at Divine Blessing. While active, reduces damage taken by 15%. So it's like a random kind of affair. You'll be doing some stuff, and then you'll get hit with a random attack from the monster, and then it'll do less damage. Now, if you stack this particular skill here with the Fair Wind Charm, that gives you attack plus 1. I'm just gonna say plus 1 because, well, no, I would just say attack level 1. It gives you attack level 1 and Divine Blessing level 1. It'll make it to where you have Divine Blessing level 2. So it increases the reduction. Increases the reduction. That's kind of weird. Increase and reduce. The opposing dichotomies being said at the same time in one sentence. It increases the reduction of your damage by 30% if you have both the charm and the skill. And its weapons are ice. His weapons are actually pretty good. Actually, I can't even get mad. Even though he's the only ice monster in the game, his weapons are very good. Very good weapons. I would recommend them wholeheartedly. Yo, go for them. They give you tons of ice. So if you actually fight somebody who is weak to ice, get loads of the stuff, okay? It's really good ice. The sharpness is fair. It's fair. I mean, it's not OP, but it's fair. But that's pretty much all I really say about the guy. His armor is good. It's really good. His weapons are pretty gosh darn good as well. And this is to be expected, because right now, Legiana, I'm gonna call it Lenny. Lenny is the beginning of the monsters wherein which the end game is slowly starting to approach too. To where even if you're in low rank, once you get to high rank, once you start getting these armors again, this is it. This is the upper echelon of monsters. You know what I mean? It starts here and literally goes all the way out into the end. Because of this, from here on out, you will probably see armor sets that have this full-on skill where, if you wear 3 pieces of a certain piece of armor, you get a free skill. And Legiana isn't necessarily the first one to do it, but Andrew is. But Lenny will have another set for you right here. So honestly, from here on out, all the armors I recommend. I recommend all the armors. If you want it, go and get it, because every armor after this is actually really, really good. Even this one included. Especially the next armor. The next armor is so good that once you actually do get to high rank, it's pretty much, for the most part, like all you'll see for a very long time. It's effectively like, if you guys remember Camilleo's armor back in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, where it was easy to get, this armor isn't necessarily easy to get, but it was everywhere because it was good. You know, this is the same thing with this next monster I'm going to talk about, especially when you get to high rank. It's just so good and it's everywhere. And honestly, like I said, every armor after this is going to be really, really dope. So with all that armor business and stuff out of the way, let's look at the last remnants of this battle right here. Now, the final phase of this fight can be done in a couple of ways. Now, I don't know exactly where I am. Okay, I know where I'm going. See, I'm going to go down here and get mollywopped and bopped and mopped. But what you really should want to do is, once you actually go to fight this guy, especially when he's about to die, he's limping, he's on his last leg, he goes to rest. You go back to area 12 and shoot straight through that tunnel there. Not the tunnel, not this location, but the other way in which I was going. Shoot straight through there. And I implore you, equip the glider mantle. Okay, you don't necessarily have to have it on yourself, like actually equipped, but make sure it's in your item box. There we go. Not item box, but have it so that way you can actually utilize the glider, so that way you come to the fight and boom, press the button, you have the glider available to you. Yes, because once he actually does finally go to sleep, he goes to sleep on like top of a mountain, bro, and it takes so long to get there if he's not asleep, or if you don't have the mantle, that I'm not saying he will wake up. I haven't had him wake up on me yet, but if you get even the slightest bit lost, he's gonna wake up. I mean, I knew where he was going, so I just did what I had to do to get up there. I navigated that very tall mountain to get up there. But if you have to look for him even a little bit, he's gonna wake up, because even if you know what you're doing, it takes literally like 2 minutes to get to where he is. Even if he just left your face just then, and you have to climb that whole mountain. But with the glider mantle, you're up there in seconds. So I totally recommend you guys actually run the mantle. Yo, did you see me do it? It was nice. That was cool. That was cool with the flash pods. Make sure you utilize those flash pods, guys, because he's gonna have his way with you if you don't. But honestly, yo, like, now that I think about it, that's pretty much all I really have for you guys in terms of this guy. I mean, I'm literally just gonna be dragging out the commentary here. I pretty much gave you everything you really need to know. The ups, the downs, the sideways, and all that stuff. The armor's really good. His weapons are really good. Watch out for a couple of his attacks. His ice attacks normally stem from the fact that he will flap his wings in a particular manner where it looks like he's just trying to show you his love. He also has a corkscrew attack, which is actually a really interesting attack because it actually hits pretty quickly. So if you kind of see him get ready for it, be ready to either block or get out of the way. Now, he does have a tail slamming attack. This tail slamming attack would actually also hit you with that ice blight as well. On top of all of his attacks that actually deal ice, he will actually throw the ice on the ground. So you don't even have to get hit with his attacks per se to actually get hit with the ice blight or even the actual damage. Because if you're within the proximity of those attacks and on the ground where the ice is being laid, you will get 1 hit with ice blight and 2 hit with the damage. So it's almost Kieran-esque, where Kieran would just kind of throw out electricity and it'll just be bolts randomly placed around the ground. Ice for this guy is kind of the same thing. So there's that. That was the recap, everyone. But that's all I have in all that. It's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Again, guys, remember that you'll bring the thunder when you come to fight the guy. Bring the flash pods and put on your game face, because it might be a long fight, might be a short fight, but it's not going to be the easiest fights you've probably had in all of Monster Hunter because of the way in which you actually have to fight him. But nonetheless, it's been your boy Dak908. I will see y'all later. Please enjoy the rest of the video. There's a little bit left, so you can kind of really get to see how I actually finish him off once he actually decides to go to sleep, because it's exactly the way in which you should totally do it. Because, I mean, the glider mantle is the biggest boon when it comes to fighting this guy. Totally need to have the glider mantle when you come fight this guy. But regardless, I will see you all in the next video, and take care. May the desire sense of being your favorite. Peace.